What if I told you that waiting for your estranged adult child to come back isn't the solution you think it is? The longer you sit in pain, hoping they'll reach out, the more power you give to something completely outside of your control. I know that's hard to hear, but here's what I've learned professionally, personally, and through working with hundreds of estranged parents. When there's no contact, the road is harder. There's no doubt. There's no sugarcoating that at all. But the hope is in finding a new path forward, okay? One that doesn't rely on someone else's choices to finally find your peace. And if your child is giving you a chance to repair things by telling you why they walked away, that's an incredible opportunity, but not every parent gets that. Some never hear their child's side. Some reach out only to be met with silence. And if that's where you are, you still have a choice. Let's talk about the 5 points of what that looks like. Point number 1, no contact is a reality, not a life sentence. Let's be honest, when your child goes no contact, it can feel like a death. And in a way, it is the loss of something deeply important. The relationship as you knew it is gone, and the not knowing when or if they'll ever come back is excruciating. But here's the hard truth. If you don't accept where you are right now, and I know this is a process, you stay stuck. Not accepting doesn't mean you like it. It doesn't mean it's fair. It doesn't mean you stop hoping. It just means you stop making your entire life about the waiting. The parents who suffer the most, and I know you're suffering, are the ones who keep hitting and refreshing on an empty inbox, replaying the last conversation, or blaming themselves over and over. The ones who make their healing conditional, meaning they'll only feel better if their child comes back. But when you tie your peace to something you can't control, you hand over the keys to your own well-being. That's why we need to shift from waiting to rebuilding. Let's see how we do this, okay? Point number 2. The hardest truth, if you had the opportunity to repair, that's a gift. Some parents don't get the chance to repair things. Their adult child tells them what hurt them. Maybe they write a long message explaining why they walked away. Maybe they say, I'll talk to you, but only if things change. If that happens, pause. Don't react defensively. Don't argue about the details. This is an opportunity, okay? I know how hard it is to hear something you don't really agree with. Maybe your child remembers things totally different. Maybe they're blaming you for things that you believe weren't only your fault, or maybe they were partially someone else's, whatever it was. But if they're willing to tell you why they left, that means they haven't shut the door completely, and that's amazing. Acknowledging what's happened, even if you see things differently, is one of the most important and powerful ways to begin healing. That doesn't mean you have to take the blame for everything, but it does mean you listen. You listen really, really good. Not to defend, not to correct, but to understand. Because the truth is, when someone feels like you hear them, like you're paying attention, like you know, like you're listening, they're more likely to reconnect. But what if that opportunity never came? Okay. Point number 3, when there's no explanation, no conversation, no chance to repair. I see this all the time. Parents digging deep. They're in their pain. They're left with nothing. No final conversation, no understanding of what went wrong, just quiet, crickets, nothing. And that is its own kind of torture, because the human brain craves closure. We want answers. We want to know what happened. Of course we do, but here's the reality. You won't get those answers. You may never get them. And if you don't make peace with that, you will live the rest of your life drowning in a mystery that may never be solved. So let me ask you this. Are you willing to stop reliving the past and start living your life again? Because that's where your power is, where your peace is, where your purpose is. Point number 4, grief isn't a waiting room, it's a process. This is the part we really don't like to talk about because it's just such a mess. Estrangement is grief, and grief isn't passive. It's something you move through. It's not linear either, right? You can go from one thing to another. But if you lost someone to death, you wouldn't spend years refusing to live, hoping they'll walk through the door again, right? Okay. You'd honor the loss, you'd feel the pain, and eventually you find a way to keep living. Well, estrangement requires the same mindset shift. That doesn't mean you give up hope, though. Really, it doesn't. But it means you stop making your healing dependent on this thing you can't control, their return. And let's be real, if they do come back, don't you want them to find you whole, to find a parent who has healed, grown, and become stronger? You don't want them to find you still drowning in the same pain they left behind, right? Okay, this is about you, your life, your happiness. You're still here, and you deserve a life that is full, even if they aren't in it right now, okay? Point number 5. The power in moving forward, even without closure. I want you to consider something radical. What if you could heal even without the apology, even without the conversation, even without understanding exactly why this happened? I know how much that stings. The lack of closure is one of the hardest parts of this whole estrangement debacle. But closure isn't something another person gives you. It's something you create. It's the decision to release yourself from the guilt, the shame, the endless what ifs. It's the choice to live fully, even with unanswered questions. It's the understanding that healing isn't about fixing the past. It's about choosing a new future. You are still worthy of joy, you're still worthy of love, and you do not have to stay stuck in this pain. So here's what I'm suggesting. Take your power back. I know the journey is painful. I know that deep down you may still hope they'll return, and that's okay. Hope isn't the enemy. The enemy is putting your life on hold while you wait. That's why I'm here, to help you move forward, to give you the tools and insights to navigate this journey with strength, clarity, and peace. And sometimes I'm a little tough. Okay, I know that, but if you're ready to take the next step, subscribe to this channel. You want to keep listening, you want to be learning. We're building a space where you're not alone, where you can heal, where you can find a new path, even when the road feels impossible. You don't have to stay stuck, and you don't have to wait for someone else to give you permission to heal. Your life is still yours, okay? And I want to help you take it back. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.